Hello, Brad.
We meet again for our third Cup of Joe.
And today we're going to get back to work on the work.
That's right.
And oh my God, I had technical problems this week. I'm trying to get to explain why. And so we had a few technical problems. And thanks to our friends, Alan, who helped us solve that. Apparently, there's a interesting problem in Amazon Web Services that if the Apache server fails on load, it can't go out and get the new certificates to allow it to load. So it goes into an infinite I'm not happy mode and dies. And so it was the thing about it, like I'm tying this into the reason I'm telling this is because I want to tease Amazon a little bit, right? And make it's for a laugh for the audience. So I get up and I'm all excited to work on the book because I'm feeling healthy. I feel like I can think. I've got some excess energy. That means I can get to work. Dr. Brad's been kicking my ass to get back to work, so I'm figuring I'm going to get back at it. So I sit down, I pull up the website, and dead.
Oh.
Anyway, so the problem with Amazon is they've got all this shit down to a science. The problem is they've built it so that you can spin up 100 servers if you need to, really easy.
Okay.
But only if you follow their model, which is so. But if you know how to work with servers and you know how to install Apache and all this other stuff, you don't need to do all that nonsense because it's too many things to manage. You just build a server, and then if you need another one, you clone it, and that's how Amazon works. But they've got it set up so they can load balance and all this crap, and I'm like, all right. So we do it the old-fashioned way, which is code it by hand. Well, anyway, it turns out that that didn't work right. So we had to fix a little thing because there's lots of magic that happens behind the scenes in the Amazon world, and you don't really know what that magic is. Anyway, so the reason I brought that up was to say that the reason we're working on the beginning is because that's the beginning of the book, and I just want to talk about that with you because a lot of what we've accomplished is precisely that. But it's interesting. So Amazon Web Services, right? Everybody knows what Amazon is, like the books and the games. And Amazon Web Services are like the hosting company. So they run Twitter and friggin' everybody else, right?
Okay.
They don't run Facebook and Google, but it doesn't pay to have your own servers because they've already industrialized this and automated to the point where it's just pointless.
It's not worth your trouble.
It's not worth your trouble to do it. And the response time is so high on their network. And if you want more servers, you get them, you pay for them. If you don't want them, you shut them down and you don't pay for them. I mean, it's great. But what's humorous to me is, Amazon doesn't make any money. It's the AWS, it's the hosting for web services for other people that make money. Why is that the irony? The irony of that is just overwhelming to me. Because if you look at Amazon, they started out, and Google started out, and Amazon started out, and eventually Oracle got on board with this, whatever. But Google said, I don't know if you're familiar with this rant yet, or I have yet, but it's against companies that try to add value to the brand and brand leverage. So what did Google do? They went out and created something Google Special, right? Crash, burn, right? Microsoft went out and created something, kitty cars. What did Amazon do? Well, shit, all this shit's out there for free. All we got to do is make it easy to use. Right? Nobody's got to really learn anything new, and they basically industrialize the management side of it.
Right.
But it's the same old shit you have at home. I mean, your offices and whatever. So you don't got to learn anything new to use it. And so so Amazon didn't try to create brand value or leverage our other brands. They just built the fucking thing. Which is funny to me because really you have them out there and they have this huge thing that generates all this influence that we see. But the profitability is from this thing that none of us see, which is Amazon Web Services,
No
which is the
kidding.
hosting company.
That's where the money's coming from?
Yeah, it's just in their financial report yesterday. Now they had a loss for a write-off for something in the regular business, but the general idea is the same, is that you make more. It's like you make more business selling
Yes, shovels.
selling
to the
shovels
miners.
than you do mining the gold. I just think that's
Hey, I would like to interject here, if I may.
Mhm.
It's a good time to talk about mining for gold and hitting like and subscribe below. And then give us the gold. Give us the gold
Comments,
right down below. Thank
please.
you.
And I want to thank the audience for those people who are commenting and the quality of the comments, most of them. I don't have to delete very many.
Oh, lovely. Oh my.
Oh God. Anyway, so today's topic, and this is going to require, I'm going to have to ask you for thoughts and opinions, right?
Or the people.
You.
Okay.
So you're going to walk into a bookstore. Just imagine it.
Mhm.
Back when we actually had paper books, and back when
in
we
the
had bookstores,
olden days.
back in the olden days. You pick up this book called the Law, or whatever we call it, right? Are we recording good? And you open up the book, and it's got, like, your usual cover, half cover page, half cover page, bibliography, not copyright page, etc. Chapter 1. What do you need? Either the introduction or chapter, whatever you want to call it. The first thing.
Right.
What do we have to tell that person that they're about to read?
It's already, it's kind of a joke. I like that start. It's like, wow. Strap your belts up.
I've written like 5 different versions, and
Yeah.
and you have to say something that summarizes it quickly,
Yes.
and then you can go and build a little narrative.
That's right. That's right.
But what
I
do you
think you write a narrative that is in common prose, okay? That is the history of Western civilization. That's all. And and the culmination of it is what you're about to read.
That's really interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Because that's what it is. This is the arc of the story. Is we're crazy people trying to rob cows from the neighbors over the river there because we can. And what does that make us now?
How do I get to the, okay.
That's the introduction. And
I got it.
It could be a forward or a, it's a story.
No, I get it. I get it. Where's the problem statement? In other words,
see, it goes like this. It's like, well, the story is this. This story gets muddled towards it's really not a long narrative, but it gets muddled towards the end, about the 20th century. It gets muddled. There's the problem.
yep. So you put the problem. You don't start with the problem. You don't start with the problem statement and then explain Western history. You start with Western history.
It's just a story. It's just a story, and it arcs and it hits these bumps. So it hits the bumps. So every time someone tries to monopolize, it hits a bump, and then it restarts again, and then it hits a bump. And the last bump we hit was about 1914. We hit the bump hard, and then the 20th century was just the problem. And now we're about to get out of the problem. And here's the story you're going to read in the rest of the book.
All right. Let me just go to what I've got so far, because it just means moving. So I just reversed the order. That, and then this book is about a reformation.
That's what it is.
And then our next great endeavor comes from it.
It's a restoration. It's a restoration, really.
Okay, so what I got is I provide the civilizational context right up front instead of going into, yeah, I like that a lot.
That's what.
All right. Let me see what I've got here. No, I really like that because, yeah, okay.
It's like it's a funny thing you use me for. It is like this crazy well, you to throw a stone in and see what pops out. It's like,
Well,
here's the question.
Yeah, it's like everything we do together. I'm really close to something.
Yes.
So sometimes I can't.
That's right.
See the forest
Trees,
for the trees.
just trees.
So
it's a revival, dude. That's the word I was looking for. Welcome to the revival. You're coming to. You're waking up. Wait, Kurt would do it like this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going through the foreword and the preface and that kind of stuff. All right, so it's the introduction. Okay. Okay, so I it's just moving stuff around.
That was an easy one for me, by the way.
All right.
Because it's like what it's welcome to the conclusion of the story, how it all turns out for everybody to be happy ever after.
Okay. Can we start the story? Now,
Okay.
what I have next is I want to explain how we're going to do that. No, see, yeah, I've already explained the problem, right? I've given the history and the problem statement.
That's right.
Now I've got to talk about how we're going to solve it.
But
No?
yeah, I will talk about the details of it later, because it's just language then. It's just a language issue of the presentation of the beginning. That's all.
All right, I'm just trying to figure out how do I get from the promise, right?
Right.
So your introduction is it's a summary of your promise, right? So that's the promise, right? So you've created enough context, you created the promise, whatever. The next thing I have is the program. In other words, what does this consist of? What problem are we trying to answer? And then what's in this program? What are we going to cover?
Okay. I think that, yeah. And I'd say, okay.
How are we going to go about this? So you have like, what's the introduction?
Okay.
What's the problem?
The next question is, so we got
That's what I'm asking the problems.
We got the introduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we might need a formal presentation of the problem, right? That we're solving inside there, right?
Mhm.
So we'll put that in there. The formal presentation of the problem. The problem is very simple.
Well, it's going to be obvious from the history, right?
No, no, it will not be obvious from the history. Because see, you have your own biases that you're playing into too much that I'm going to dissuade you from by the end of the discourse. Because the only problem is too many lies by insufficient caliber or insufficient use of the language, the grammars, and the logic.
You don't want me to do the.
You're not going to say anything that you're thinking right now. None of it. You will not, because that is not the problem. Your problem is that you did not anticipate somebody lying to you like they did. And you did not adequately prepare yourself and your language to prevent that harm from taking place. Okay.
You're gonna need a lot of red marker.
I know. But it's like this. I know. Because the problem is only lies. And you did not have a mechanism to measure.
I like my forgiveness the way I say it. We don't know these things. We just do the best we can.
I know, but see, the problem is that Western civilization did not adequately prevent liars from lying to them and taking great advantage of them. That's all. It's not the other that is the problem.
It's not the female method of argument.
It's nothing to do with any of those other things.
Well, of course it is. That's the call.
Wait, of course it is. And it will be described later as such, perhaps, but not in the beginning. The problem is just lies and liars and
undermining. So we seduce them into bed before we stab their sacred cows in the night. Yeah.
No. We ceremonially murder them right in front of them on the altar of truth. Right? Does that make sense? It's more.
I will try.
No. I will make sure that you will succeed.
Well, I know this, but I might write it the way I do. Then you can redline because I may not be able to think about it any other way.
I know. I think might require someone else to write the introduction bit.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I know. I write consistently at college graduate or graduate level.
All right.
And while my writing may be dense, very few people can do this. You've tried, right? You're not a slouch. It's fucking hard.
Very hard. So, I'm willing to. That's good to go. Good to go. You're the master of the choice.
You know, the problem is the only people able to do this are philosophers of the same level of sophistication who produce their own work. That's the problem. You know, so it's because it's. We just spent a fucking hour and a half talking about how fucking hard this is. So, but anyway, editing though is something that helps because I tend to make sentences more dense and longer than they need to be.
Perfect.
So rephrasing a sentence. One of the things I have to solve is this. Is that my parentheticals?
I told you to write in plain English, not your English.
Well, no,
not advanced English.
It's not my fault. It's Karl Popper. He taught me.
Popper's
my screen. Can I share my screen?
I believe so.
Desktop 2,
yes.
Chrome 2. All right, boom. Here's the zoom button. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I see what's
There you
happening.
go.
It's probably
You guys can,
it's probably
Make your screen
It's-
bigger if you can't read it.
it doesn't amplify just the current screen. It amplifies all screens that were evolved in anyway.
I understand.
So a parenthetical, this is a parenthetical,
Yes,
a set of tests,
yes.
parentheticals.
You don't put
So,
that in the first bit that we were just talking about, you call the introduction or the forward. Okay,
right, I have a section on style in the beginning that talks about what to expect. Right?
you know,
Right?
and I'm like, the way I see this is before all of this. That little story that I just told you is before all of this.
Well, that's right. This is the introduction, the story. Right, that's before. This is the program.
No. Oh, before front matters.
No, the front, I don't think you know, front matter means just this. Table of contents, the forward, the preference.
Oh.
That's all that means. Front matters,
Oh,
the boilerplate that goes before your book.
I got you. The
Right.
forward is what we were just talking about then.
Right. The introduction is a summary.
Okay, I got you.
No,
Sorry,
no,
Jesus
that's not what a
Christ.
forward is. A forward is an explanation of how the author came to produce the work.
Good.
All right. So,
Good.
all right. So we have our introduction, and so we tell our story, and so the point I was trying to get to here, the reason I'm showing you this
Yes.
is that I want to know is if we're actually really introducing the whole message here. We've said, here's the history, here's the problem statement, and herein it lies the solution. Now we have to start talking about how we're going to work through this, because it's too much stuff, right? We want to tell the story of how we're going to tell the story.
It's just funny to me because it's like this. It's like, okay, what you're about to take part in this book, right, is so utterly alien to your current way of thinking that its complexity will have to be described in some detail, because it is alarmingly different than you have been trained to think. Right? And
That's a really smart thing. I don't have
it's we call it a disclaimer, or right? It's a fair warning. At the end of the beginning is the fair warning. At the end of that, whatever narrative we just gave is the fair warning. It's a trigger warning. We have to put a trigger warning because it's funnier that way.
Yeah, I have trigger warning in there somewhere. I don't say it trigger warning, but I say
You have
that.
to call it a trigger warning because it's totally what it is. It's sacred cows are
Okay, when I get off on teasing people, you're doing the same thing.
I know, but it's funnier. Hell, man. Oh Lord, don't bring your sacred cow in here.
It's got to go in here, though.
I'm telling you, it's got to go right before you even start. It has to go like right after. This is what's going on here.
I just made a boo-boo. I need to log in somewhere.
Do you want to not share your screen? I like teasing people.
You misbehave. You misbehave a lot.
Mostly people who need it.
What?
It's based on need. It's need based.
It's need-based?
Yes, it's totally need based. The needy need teased most.
Why is this not working? Can you see the introduction?
Yes. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, this is the lie.
What's that?
It's actually
It's so totally lying. Really hard. It's not
So what did you
really
tell me to
hard.
call
That's
this?
better. Now it's true. Safety
So what did you
helmets
tell
and
me to write in
seatbelt.
here? What'd you call it? What?
Trigger warning.
That's not really true.
You have to have an actual trigger warning.
Trigger warning. Okay, let's put that in there. I suspect I've got it and I've just forgotten. I mean, forget that this is like 1,000 pages of shit here. So, no, you called it something else. It's hard. This is a major change in how you think.
Fair warning. What? Oh, yeah, yeah. So there's 2 warnings there. That's good. And how you think about thinking, and how you think about other people, and how you think about everything.
What does the trigger warning got to say?
The trigger warning is this, it's like this is related to your sacred cow. Do not bring your sacred cow within if you are afraid it's going to get hurt. Okay? It will be discovered. It will be injured. It is fair warning that your sacred cow is going to be slaughtered inside. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then that's funny, right? It's funny.
Yeah.
Is it not true? It's totally true, and it's a trigger warning because you're sacred. You're going to get pissed off if you have no right to get pissed off if your sacred cow gets stepped on in here, because I guarantee it's going to get stepped on and it's going to make you mad, and I don't want to hear one damn word about it.
I'm going to move that. Next piece.
Your idolatry is uninteresting.
When justice lifts her scales and delivers her verdict without exception, it provides all parties internal to the conflict with equal dissatisfaction. Okay, so I just got to move the next 2 sections to the next to after.
That's this is it's King Solomon and the baby. Move the next 2 sections to after what? The intro? Program.
That's real easy to do.
Yep.
All right, so not so warm and fuzzy.
I like the trigger warning part, man. That was cool.
What you won't like. Is there another part in here? Did I already say that? Okay.
That could be it, right? Yeah. What you will not like. Okay.
Who's the audience? We all carry our biases, a voice, what you'll notice, what you'll like, what you deliver. Okay. Well, you'll not like, maybe I'll just move that stuff down here. That's the way it's
That's
shown.
right.
Move that other stuff down here.
Um,
Move
Yeah.
R2.
wow.
What?
Oh, I'm seasick.
Oh, sorry, boss.
It's okay. I'm trying to, okay, just for discourse here, what is the piece that you're moving? The trigger warning and the fair warning?
What you won't like.
Yeah, that's what you won't like. That's good, because it's work. It's work, right? Does that
Say
make
again,
sense?
it's work? Yeah, it's work.
Because it's work, and it's like, you won't like it because it's work. It will, however, make you better at doing what you do, right? Your intrinsic bias as a human being is to try to not work.
Where's it work? Might be difficult, it's work. Okay, okay.
You're increasing the efficiency of the operation of your mind. And that is a valuable thing.
I've got that in there. I just want to. I just moved that piece. That's good. Okay. Next. Okay. We've created the problem. We've told them what it's like. Now would we explain? Okay, then what the fuck is it? Right. That's what we're saying. What is this thing you're going to teach me?
Yes.
And that's that's what the program is.
Yes.
So I'm not. So you go into the program.
Okay.
Introduction. Whoops, did I just make two? I did. The program.
Yep.
I just changed, what are we gonna learn? I just give some introduction to it.
Okay. So what are we going to learn, Kurt? That's another story. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta tell a better story.
The story is real. It's just got to be in common narrative terms.
What the, let's just look at it. Share. What are you doing? There we go.
There we go.
In the introduction, we described the problem of the present age in a historical context. We stated we have a solution to that problem, despite our natural resistance to change. In this section, we're going to explain the scope of the solution and break that solution down into a series of steps, where each step produces an outcome, and that outcome is a set of tests that we can use to test the truth of any state or claim. This series of steps will explain our journey through this section of the work. We'll refer to this section in the scope of the work as the program. The program consists of a number of insights and a hierarchy of applications of those insights, a set of outputs from application. That's just too many repetitions. I don't need to read that. That's not really, that's close, but it's not really enough. What's the matter?
I'm just like, it's, yes, it sounds like a program, like a programmer.
Okay. You're gonna see a lot of that.
Because it's like this. Here, Kurt, when I'm the reader of this thing, the contents, the program. The program is a the program in my mind is the purpose of the program, right?
Essentially a table of contents.
Yes.
Right, but it's
So it's like a pre-summary. It's a summarized version of the entirety of the thing that follows.
yes.
Okay. So what question are we trying to answer? Is not what you just, that was a description of what follows. that paragraph there that I can no longer see.
I'm trying to go into edit mode and I'm trying to figure out why it's taking so long.
Parallel processing. There you go.
No, I think there's just a lot going on over here. Boom.
Yes.
boom. Come on.
Okay.
How's that? Can you read that?
Yeah.
So we need to answer that question.
See, that's how we're going to answer the question, is what that paragraph seems to answer to me. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. What question are we trying to answer? That's funny right there. I think that we're trying to answer the question of how do we make the law so that people can't lie as much as they've been doing? Right? Is that not the problem?
I think I can art that a little bit, but yeah,
Just saying.
that's fucking priceless.
That's all it is. That's the problem.
I think a little more context than that.
Kurt, help us out here, brother. It's like that. If you were going to summarize it in one sentence, it's like, that's the problem you solved.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
So,
That takes 20 years to figure out the answer to that one diligently. Thank you. Glad to be of service. I guarantee you the results of this.
all right. So
Oh
Thank you.
my,
what?
that's awesome. Section 0 is awesome.
Yeah. I actually
No,
I had- what?
It's the basic human need for it's a basic need for verbal animals. Does that make sense? That's the fishing that catches all of them that have any interest in verbalization as a means of doing business. That hook right there is the hook for the philosophers and the psychologists and all of them that wish to do legitimate business in the art of human interaction of conversational nature. It's any form of human interaction, any operational language.
Give me that again.
It's any operational language or any human interaction of verbal nature. Any operational verbal interaction falls into this category of what is needed. And what you're doing is refining the capacity to verbally interact in an operational sense.
Yeah, I think we made that. Or I will have said that.
I know, but I want you to just spend a tiny, tiny little bit of extra.
Oh, no, it's okay. I just want to, give me 1 second. I'll go back to it.
Because it's like really the lie, the whole thing about lying is just the imprecision of the tools of
Right.
language, right?
Increase the
Is
resolution.
what you've solved for.
How did you say it? Something, an increase in precision.
What you're solving for is the imprecision of operational verbal interaction. Oh, okay. I'm like thinking about lying.
Hmm?
Error. So this gives us the, I like this because it's like to solve for the Russian problem and the American problem. The Russian problem is they trusted the wrong person. And the American problem is that somebody lied to them, right? There you have it.
They let loose that Putin does have cancer.
Really?
Yeah, I told you. I know when my face looked like that.
Interesting.
I have a picture of me holding my infant son. My whole face looks just like that. Does not look right.
Hmm.
And it also makes you off.
Hmm. That was a side note.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think I would specify we as human beings. So stress the universal nature of what is being presented.
Yeah. Yeah. How, the, where. That does it, right?
That's the introduction of universality is universally applicable function. It's a natural law is universal, man. So what you're doing, there's a function that's being restored here, which is the university has fragmented into a whole bunch of little silos and they know it. Okay. So the university has deviated from the universe by God knows the erection of how many little walls. Okay. And you're creating a proper universal methodology for the integration of all human potential experience.
I don't want to give him that much up front. It's too much of a promise to hold in your head. All we're trying to get him, we've created the narrative. We've made the promise. We're trying to say what is it going to consist of and how are we going to deliver it? Here
Okay.
we're repeating the question. What do we need?
Okay.
How are we going to do it? And
There you go.
what's in it? Okay, we're good. Now we've got, okay, so I mean, this will just, that's not hard. That's me, coffee and chocolate. Okay. I was meant to get a laugh out of you. There we go.
That's very good, man.
All right.
I was trying to determine if that was an expression of it, or that's just all it takes to get it finalized. I had to process that information, which is why I didn't laugh, because I didn't know what the exact nature of this was.
How to tell the story is the hard part. It's
just a story.
because, well,
It's
right.
just a story,
I just, right.
but it's got so many little bits.
I have every once in a while, like I get a break from the work long enough so my head clears.
Yeah.
And then I start thinking about it and I'm like, what kind of crazy person does this?
Like this, I tip my hat because it is just totally nuts.
What's the thing I did? Yeah. Oh, just yesterday. I did my work on, I said, somebody asked me, where do you have a summary of your religion? You work on religion. Well, so I pull it up and this is, it isn't in narrative form. It's in section form, right?
Right.
It's 50 pages. That's just the summary.
I was watching Dr. Enriquez talk about this yesterday with a couple guys, was Perveki and another gentleman, I don't remember his name, and they were talking about how religion became institutionalized, and it was from an Abrahamic perspective, right? You build an altar, you build a temple, and it just keeps on getting more elaborated, right? And it's like, they're right. They see the institutionalization, the progress of it. It's like perfectly on track. Sorry, they just are not.
No, but the problem is
universal.
it doesn't tell you why we need religion.
We understand. Yes.
Right. And so the problem is that this is why it's like you can't talk to anybody in the Western world because the only religions they understand are Abrahamic religions. Right? They don't understand the other religions as religions, and they can't do comparative. Of course, I was a good Catholic boy, and I went to Catholic school, and I was taught comparative religion by monks. And we had to learn all these things before we go out in the world.
That was good.
And so we got to spend. I learned Catholic school was so much better. It's a private school, right? Private Catholic, expensive. It's really expensive now. It was expensive then. It's, oh my God, expensive now.
Really?
Yeah, it's absurd. And so they teach you things like family, marriage and family is a class.
Wow.
It lasts a year. It tells you about how to be married, how to raise kids.
That's very useful.
You got comparative religion. I got a year of Shakespeare.
Wow. Wow. That's real education, man.
Fuck. I love that phrase. We've gone from teaching Latin and Greek in high school to remedial English in college. We can't let.
I just felt that right in my heart, man. It's like
we can't let the girls and the brown people think that they're not smart.
Oh, that was close, but that was not my sacred cow.
Oh,
I just even my sacred cow would be more like observing that you said something like that, and not me being observed, not reacting poorly. That would be my sacred cow. Is like, I'm gonna look bad because I don't even think
white
that's a
people
problem.
don't care. White people don't care that Jews beat them in verbal scores and Asians beat them in math scores. They care that they don't have to deal with people who can't match them in math scores.
That's it. It's and they care not to be lied to. That's all.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So what's in the program?
Right.
So we've established,
Yeah.
we're going to put it, methodology for producing a system of measurement, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
I got to make this like human readable.
I think that it's like reading a programming language or a program. I don't think that it's unreadable. And it's succinct enough that it's like it won't bother a reader. Does that make
Okay.
sense? It's not bothersome in that it's not exhaustive of the opportunity for my attention.
So I'm just breaking it into parts, right?
Wait, oh, okay, wait. A methodology, a system of measurement.
So I mean, this has to be expanded.
Yeah, I think it's like the number 2 thing. So okay, I got it. I understand you. There's so a methodology for producing the system of measurement, a universal system of measurement. Oh, universal commensurability and decidability. Is that redundant?
Well, that's why I had it this way.
I would regard it as a universal system of measurement, creating commensurability and decidability across.
Mhm.
This method consists of, because it's a single method, right? So it's this method, the method. There's not enough spaces before the this. And yeah, thank you. Fix the add one before the this. Then I will be happy.
That's not supposed to do that, boss.
2?
Not anymore. They
Oh,
don't like
Jesus. Who changed the rule?
computers.
What? Okay, I'm good. I'll just shut up. Really?
I didn't make up the rule.
I know, but so when
I
did they
just
invent?
obey the
Okay,
rule.
I'm gonna have to write this.
The
Who
reason
made the
is,
rule? Who
I'll
made
tell
the
you why.
rule?
You want me to tell you why?
Yeah, please.
Because the printers know that before that and that is to add space. So if you put in an extra space, they expand it to that.
Oh my.
So in some,
Okay, I want you to thank you for your. What would you call this? It's a basic English education in the.
no, it's not English. It's just the stop adding 2 spaces after a period. See,
Wow.
unless you are typing an actual typewriter, you no longer put 2 spaces after a period or a question mark. The rule applies to all end punctuation. Nothing says you're over 40 like 2 spaces after a period. Did I just give you your laugh of the day? Good.
You just made me show my age.
I still do it now and then, right? Because I'm a touch typist and I type fast.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing this, it's not. But if I'm just talking to myself, just thinking,
Yeah,
I just do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Okay. And so I still do it.
So thanks for the update, Kurt. I have a hard time keeping up with you, man. You're a regular font of crazy information.
I know many things, not all of them useful,
Correct.
and unfortunately, too many of them I wish I didn't know.
I know. No, I think that, I don't know. I'm not going to go weigh in on that one momentarily. Okay, where are we? We will cover this methodology in great detail. What is that little 10 for? 1.0 is what that is? 1.0? I don't like this P method. I don't like that part. Just the method. You're trying to get away from the proprietarian thing anyway. No, this system of measurement consists of, right?
Methodology proves a system of measurement. Yeah.
This system consists of
produces.
That's right. Logic and grammar. Now I want this system is, you don't have to say universal again. You don't have to have universally in there. It's commensurable. It is universally commensurable, but that's fine. You can repeat it there. It's fine.
Yeah, it needs to be there because I'm,
yeah. Okay.
It's supposed to be a chapter.
That's good. Do it like do it. I think if you hit return, and it will be under there, and then it's clear that everything in that row is all chapters, right? And so the sections, right? Sections are above, and then chapters below. I think I would separate that grammar, operational grammar, from the grammar. So 11 from 12 by another paragraph space.
Why?
Because it's distinct chapter and it gets kind of clouded in there. It's too close because the part of that narrative under 12 is far away from 12.
You know, I never disagree with you, Brad. You're always right.
I know, it's awful, isn't it? I tell my son that, I said it's my agreeable disagreeability. So it's hard to disagree with me, and it's so irritating. He agreed with that premise. He's very disagreeable generally too.
I don't like this. I'm going to veto that one.
Okay.
So this is a problem. I use this everywhere.
I know. You already got the grammars in there.
Well, I got to delete one of them, right? So.
I noticed. Or? Okay. Wait, okay. Okay, go back up a little bit, please. I got to ask this question. So, section 2. What is this thing that we're calling the logic, the hierarchy of logics and the grammars? The system of measurement?
Well,
What
we
does
have
this
to-
refer to? That's the question I'm asking. Yes. Oh my. What is these?
Well, hold on, I meant these.
Uh,
I'm trying to get there. See, what I'm trying to do is prepare.
Oh, hmm.
I'm missing something. It's no way to do this in order.
Oh, this is very good work we're doing here. You've gone on a different trail than I'm trying to resolve something.
That's not really what it is.
This paradigm represents the completion of the scientific method.
It's probably the easiest thing to say.
The most understandable.
set of
to the
tools?
reader. What? Okay. That that statement is just outrageous.
Well, the problem is you need this.
No, I'm not having a problem. It's just like I'm trying to be the reader and read that this set of tools produces the completion of the scientific. What in the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because it's like because I'm the reader, I'm an innocent philosopher reading this set of tools produces the completion of this. What do you mean by the completion of the
The
scientific?
problem is we need truth. The problem here is truth.
You have two A's in that decidability, but that's okay. Ah. Decidability. Humans need to decide how to act, right?
Decide is enough.
No, I'm good. I'm just hanging. So but the issue I was going to on this section 2 was this denting in, we call these logics and the grammars. These the logics and the grammars. What are these things we're talking about? The operational grammar and the grammars?
Mhm. All of them are the spectrum.
So it's like this, to me, this section, this should not be in paragraphed in. Because it suggests that it's part of 12 being indented in the same place. You know what I mean? That's what my interpretation was initially, right? Oh, there you go.
I visited the doctor yesterday, and I bought this really big cookie. chocolate chip cookie, and I gave it to the girls at the front desk.
Oh, yeah, that makes you popular.
I know how the world works, man.
It's like this, you should bring a blonde for the doctor.
Bring a what?
Bring a blonde for the doctor. If you
That's what
want
he's-
to be, that would have ameliorated some of the irritation he had from interacting with you. You need a representative.
I don't need your help getting in trouble. I do it fine on my own.
I enjoy troubleshooting.
What kind of guy gets thrown out of Walmart for having a pillow fight? This kind. What kind? I mean, I never go to. I mean, I figure Walmart is like slumming for me. I mean, I just never go. The
Right.
one time I go is because the only place where I can go, right? And I just think, starting random pillow fights with people is charming. Everybody was laughed like hell except one person.
Oh my.
Oh, bitch. Hates the world and hate
Miserable
radical world.
person. No, there's miserable people out there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's and they want to share it.
The problem is this.
What is the problem?
Well, here's the method. Here's the,
The system of
Grammars.
measurement.
but we need decidability. Decidability requires this.
Oh,
And,
so okay.
and together they produce the scientific method. Then you take the
Oh.
right? And then you take the scientific method and you apply it to the spectrum of the sciences. And you end up with the first principles. And then you apply those first principles to civilizational differences, to identify group strategies. Right? And, you see now you're going to make me go,
I
the
know.
explanation of what went wrong. All right. You're not going to let me do that.
No, the issue is see, it's just that it's the name you're applying to it is all the problem is.
Yeah. You realize the people who are going to see this video, I'm going to get 100 private messages
Yeah, I
that
know.
say, where are you in the truth? You're supposed to stick to the truth. You're all about truth. You're not going to say the truth. Well, I mean,
I will answer their question immediately, right now, which is, I don't care about their whining about the truth. It's a description of reality, and it is quite limited to that which is relevant and necessary and sufficient to answer the question. It is
It's necessary.
unnecessary descriptors which are going to cause the problems that you guys are attached to, which is your sacred cow, and I don't give a rat's ass about it. Any question?
Thank you. I'm going to blame you and send you all
That's
those
it. I wear a white coat for a reason. I have big shoulders and I don't give a damn. I will write a doctor's note says you're not allowed to do it, Kurt, and it's doctor's orders. I have written prescriptions of such nature before, and I will do it again anytime it helps my people. I will take full responsibility for it. Thank you, Kurt. See, that was Kurt secretly in his heart saying that he knew I was right again. And he didn't even have to flip me off that time.
I'm sorry. I just was distracted. I didn't hear anything you just said.
Not a word. Huh? Are you talking to me?
Hmm?
Huh? I'm out of coffee, man. That's okay. Because this is like Kurt. So you anyway. It's like this.
So wait. You're fine with here to here.
The organization.
And you're actually fine to here.
In terms of fine.
You're not
what do you mean
fine
by,
with here.
What do you mean by fine?
Well, you're okay if I just say that I explain how the Western group strategy is just science, testimony, truth, correspondence, consistency.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
So this is the explanation for the disproportionate adaptive velocity
Yes,
of the West.
which is that is no small thing. Yes.
So if I say this is true and I get rid of just that, are you okay?
If you get rid of that bit,
Yeah.
I would get rid of this next line. The Semitic and female group evolutionary strategy it's
Well, that's okay. I don't care.
I don't. Yeah, I think that it.
That's
Yes,
too much.
that is sufficient. It is what it is, that those things. Okay, it is those things, and what we call it. Okay, I don't know what we call it. Okay,
It's okay. Yeah.
but it's a.
I can no. Listen to me. I can just show it as the failure to complete as the Babbage versus Turing problem, and opening it up, and I don't have to reduce it to first causes.
Right.
I
Right,
can
and
just
the
talk
issue-
about
the
it as
issue is-
expanding a franchise.
I would explain it in terms of the fail. Go back up there again so I can see it. The explanation for what went wrong is the failure of our language systems to hang on. They diverge from reality by perceptive error. It's introduced an error into the correspondence with reality of our behaviors. So introduce error into human behavioral systems, or right? For failure, and it causes us to increasingly diverge from proper correspondence to the natural world.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I'm saying it. I just had to.
I'm just trying to get the idea down. Why don't I have strike through up here?
I don't know.
I don't
There it
know.
is. Is there a chapter for these things?
Yeah.
Okay. They aren't listed here.
But aren't.
It's like this section 11. I see no chapters listed.
Restitution.
I don't know where you're going.
Well, it's supposed to be right here.
It's okay.
I might have taken it out because it had so many things Brad would object to.
Oh my. My.
Let me just see.
Okay.
See what went wrong. The reforms.
I'm glad you didn't think about what you were doing when you started all this, because you wouldn't have done it.
Oh, you'd have to be a fucking idiot. What's amazing?
Hmm.
What's amazing, and because I have all the copies, how the order of the argument has changed, but the precision, but the basic argument's the same since 2014.
Wow.
Okay, so the conflict.
Okay.
This is really a second book.
I believe it.
The choice. Where's the rest of it? The prosecution. Here's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Try not to have a head explosion.
I'll be okay, because I expect it to be thoroughly irritating to a lot of people that I'm kind of their representative here.
So I wrote this prosecution as a separate book.
Yes.
It's the prosecution, the summary, naming the enemy, conflict, how it works, what is to be done, right?
Oh my.
Yeah, exactly. Ain't the half of it.
I know. Okay.
This
Wait.
is
No. You're
this is where it comes from.
No, I know, but I have to go back to where we're editing.
Wait, I want to try to find something.
Oh my God.
Dude, what do you think I do for a living? It's not like I just sit here and talk on the internet.
I know, man. I'm just like,
So this is the restitutions,
yeah.
and this is the other one that's up there. So I have taken off the course and context of a civil war, the restitutions, and the threats, charges, and duties.
Yes.
In order, so this is the stuff I took off because it's too nasty for Dr. Brad.
Oh.
I kowtowed
Oh my.
to your oppression.
Oh my. Oh my.
You're not gonna let me get away with that.
That was as much as getting away as you're gonna get away, man. You're gonna get away. Oh my. So the question I was trying to get answered here, is there a chapter that you're pointing the nice people at in section 11?
Yeah, it's the restitution. Oh, yeah, I just don't have it up here because I don't.
I understand. So I
Because
want
I unlinked it.
Oh, I understand. Okay, so I just, yes, little note, chapter, yes, ... That's nice. That's good. I like that method too. Boop. Very sharp. That's good. Wait, fix the, okay.
I want to mess with you.
I know.
Fix what?
Working. It's really
Well,
upsetting.
I'd like to know I'm not the only person with OCD at this table.
There you go. Just prove it. Anytime you feel any kind of anxiety like that, you just prove it again. Satisfy the demand for what is it? Just inclusion, right?
Yes, exactly.
I'm just one of the guys, just like the rest of you. Just that's beautiful, man. Now that's proper. I like it.
So just tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what.
Right.
All right.
Wait. So this is kind of, wait, this summary, they're in summary of this summary that we just provided, right? You're working backwards now. Kind of, right? This is a retrograde action. So the law, back through the programs that you just talked about above, consists of these things, and then it's going to advice. I want to get rid of that last bit in section number 10 there, number 10. Not the long war against it. It's not a long war. It is just the errors that we have made over the last several hundred years.
So what you?
I'm turning you into a proper Russian.
I'm just gonna. I just have the urge to mess with you. So in the final, there's a thing in the in Word, right? You have hidden comments. You can hide and unhide them. So basically, I go put back all the things you want to take out, and then once you've approved it for final, I just flip the switch and they all come back. Is that
how it is?
Then I send it off to the printer.
However it works for you, Kurt. Whatever
No.
works for you, it's okay.
I
Just
just
like the way I regard this is there's a certain element of therapy here. Okay.
Therapy or behavior modification?
It's all the same, brother. It's the same thing. I'm causing you to internalize my little voice.
There's a variation of point of view in those two terms.
Wait.
It's the victim and the victee.
Yeah, it's like the issue goes like this is okay. I'm going to tell you a little story because it's like this. I have this poem that I tell my patients about posture. And it goes like this. This poem goes like this. Said every man's father to every man's son, sit up. And no one could do it. Not one. And that is because the amount of information required to fix your posture, to make it proper right, is too great to even begin to articulate, right? So what does the kid do? The kid makes an approximation of something that tells the old man to shut up. Right? The dad is just trying to make him internalize the little voice so he doesn't have to tell him next time. The kid just does it so the dad doesn't have to open his mouth. So that's all we're doing here. We're just fixing it. So I don't have to say anything because you don't want to hear it anymore.
We got stabbed with a fork.
We got stabbed with a fork? Oh yeah, we had that shit too. That's pretty damn good. It's like that. It was mostly related to table manners, behaviors at the table.
Well,
like,
sitting up
wow,
straight.
not the fork.
Sitting up straight, right? Your back is straight. Nothing touches the table.
Within about this far from the table.
Exactly.
And yeah, you're not leaning on the table. My God.
No, that guy you stabbed with
elbow on the table is stabbed. I went to the same school you did on that one.
Called culture.
Yeah.
Called culture. It's called class.
I understand. Okay.
Yes, I know which silverware to use. How to fold a napkin.
I understand.
I actually know what to say and not to say. I just don't choose not to obey it.
Choose to ignore much of that. It's all set and setting, right?
I remember one time I was like, I was one of the first time I got served a whole artichoke.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
I'm not sure I know how to eat this. Because I've only eaten artichoke hearts. I've never had a whole artichoke. And so the problem is they're waiting for me to start. And I'm like,
you don't want to start.
Go ahead. So I go to the bathroom and come back and they're eating it. And I was a kid, right?
That was smart thinking right there. It's like, whew, this is going to end poorly.
I would get complimented on my manners all the time. Not any longer, but back then I would.
Wait, we've moved somewhere where I'm getting contextualized. Yes. Okay.
All right, so we're going to summarize it and we're
nice.
talking about the deliverables.
I like it.
All right, and this just lists the archives.
Mm.
Right. So this just lists some things you can go to. Now, I just have this because I don't know where to put it.
It's like a little glossary.
It's just to help philosophers.
Whoa,
Right,
so go up there. Let me read that a little bit. Oh, okay. Okay. That's weird. It's weird because it's not a glossary. It's something else.
It's a map.
Okay. I like that. So what did you call it above?
Hmm?
It's the mapping. What is it? Not PLaw though. The method. Yeah. That's good. Generations of reasoning. Is it generation?
Those generations, the evolution.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't it be just the evolution of reasoning for logicians?
I'm gonna stick with
Okay,
generations. That's okay.
okay.
Oops.
I like that. Now,
I'm trying to. The thing is, for a logician,
yeah,
for anybody who's very skilled, when you
yes,
see a table like this,
yes.
it just you understand very quickly. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay, I like
providing
that.
what I would want,
Okay, that's good.
right? And this is just,
Interesting. It's interesting.
you know,
Oh, that's good, man. I like that.
these are so the problem is I don't know where to put these. So I put them at the end of places. Say, well, I'll figure it out later.
I think I would put them before the deliverable element.
No, because that's for average readers, right? I want a sort of sidebar thing, you know.
Okay, that's like it's on its own page. Each one will be its own page, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So because I want to have this thing for, okay, if you're because you want to be able to handle both voices, right?
That's right.
The reader. So
That's right.
okay, so I think that's with some work, that's pretty good then. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you giggling about?
Nothing, man. I'm just like,
I heard you giggling.
I was just a lot of work, man. I'm like, I'm like, how many actual volumes do you think it will be? Do you know what I mean? I think it's more than one.
We have made it way effing shorter.
Okay.
And that's partly because I've pulled so much out of it.
Huh.
In other words, when I don't know how to tell the story, I tend to put too much in,
Yes.
right? And now that we've made it shorter, I can go back to, I can close this now that I'm done with it.
Yeah.
One second. So if you look at this, right, we have, this is all fairly short, right? So here's all these faculties. But what we've done with a lot of this is we've reduced it to stuff that's a lot closer to this. Because if you look at here, right, if you look here,
Yeah.
we've reduced a lot of things to this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So we don't, it isn't narrative any longer.
Right. It's just lists.
It's just lists.
Yes.
And so the focus then is to make the lists readable. Yeah, I don't know if you. So we've made it shorter. So let me go back here a bit. So you have the front matter, you have the program. This stuff we can go over tomorrow.
Okay.
Then we go into the first principles, right? Now, some of these things are wordy. Some of these things are very simple.
Right.
They're basically a couple of, they're a little paragraph with like the arrows and
Right.
dimensions, or whatever. Because what we're really trying to show is we're trying to get people to think in dimensions. Right? So dimensions, and then just a paragraph of explanation. And, intuition, consciousness is longer, right? Attention isn't hard. Then we get into psychology, which is the 4 states. So this is the faculty state, and then when in process, we have these things we have to turn. So if I don't know what intelligence looks like, what does that look like? For example, it's probably got nothing in it because it's something else. No. Okay. So
Okay.
there's the stuff that's like, these are all definitions essentially,
Right.
right? It's all the stuff we've done.
Yep.
Is we're essentially creating a conceptual glossary of series, right? Which are systems. We're just creating a system of measurements. Each thing is a measurement of something, and we go to group strategy. All right. Now we get into certain things that require a little text, right?
Yes.
All right. And then we get into this part, the law, the language, logic, grammars, right? They're a little bit. But you don't get into and then there's the reforms, right, in the Constitution. But the stuff that's really I pulled out is all this
Yes.
long form, right? I pulled out this long form because you abuse me out of putting all my complaints in.
I know.
And so if you want to reduce it to just the science of law, it's not that bad. And then I get to put together a separate book that's nasty.
If that pleases you.
That will please me. What?
Get the toxin out. That's all right.
All right. So
All right, but
that's,
I don't want it to. I don't want you to waste effort getting the toxin out if you can do via.
well, you've succeeded through
That's
like
good.
water on a rock. It's more like a jackhammer on a very hard rock.
Just take time. Just take time. See some. Yeah.
You have extraordinary patience and discipline
Thank
and
you
personal
for the
conviction that you're right.
I know it's undeniable. All of these things, I won't deny any of it. I will confess. Sure. I want you to know this is an interesting application of my peculiar skill set working with you. It's the highest use that I have for my skills, I must say. Getting Kurt done with this
I
work.
don't know how it's just funny. You're incredibly patient, and I'm like fucking stubborn as shit.
Yeah, you are. I just tip my hat to that. Like, it's like that. Like, just he's not buying it today. We'll try it again tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want you to be right.
I know. It really doesn't matter.
I want my catharsis, damn it.
I can speak Kurt shorthand now. I know how to speak to him. Cut to the chase, man. You're doing
So
great,
anyway,
man.
it's not. I've guesstimated it because I can make this thing print the whole thing, right?
Right.
It's not a 125-page book, right?
No.
Right. The Constitution's almost 100 pages at least, right? And so you got a couple.
Right. So I would divide it up. You know what I mean, in sections of books, but what volumes? It's volumes. It's more than one volume. I'm pretty confident.
Well, it's more than one volume. You could say that the method and The method, the Constitution, and the findings of the law are three separate volumes.
The method, what else, what were the three things? The method?
The method, the Constitution, and the findings of the law.
I know, it's like this, okay, I want there to be the method and the madness.
Dude, you fucking spend how many hours a week with the madness?
I know, but it's like this, it's like this, it's like the madness arises from this last part you just described, right? The method and the madness. It's like everyone resonates with the method and the madness. What the hell is that? And it's like, that's the madness. There's a reason for the madness, right?
So the thing is, though, let me.
The Constitution is the cure, is the remedy.
The Constitution.
There's the method, the madness, and the Constitution, which is the remedy.
Fundamentally speaking, if all you have is the Constitution, that's enough. The method is an explanation of the cause of the Constitution, and the law, which would be just the findings of the court, which is just a list of the arguments for all the known crimes, immoralities. So to prevent the need for people to come up with judgments, right? You've pre-calculated all the judgments correctly. And so that's the big
So
part.
this is interesting. So it's like the I would call that it's the madness is the incentive for retaliation, right?
Well, I have written a whole lot on how to retaliate.
No, I understand. I'm just like this.
I mean, I'd have a lot more fun talking
know.
about writing than the method.
I know, but it's like
you want to help me write how to conduct.
No, but it's like this.
and that stuff.
I like the method and the madness, right? The madness is the incentive for retaliation, which you describe in the findings. You're deciding your decisions. You know your findings, right?
No madness there. It's boring.
Boring. Okay.
What is? I mean, it's basically the answer book to all the majority of legal questions. So it's just like, if somebody asks you, what is the law on marriage? What is the law?
Oh, okay.
On,
I got you.
And
So it's
just
the prevention
answers.
of madness. Okay, I got you. It's perfect. Okay. So it's the what did you call it? The findings?
Findings of the law.
That's good. I like that. The method is
Or the law applied. It's like
application.
the law and the law, the Constitution and the laws. I don't know, something like that. The laws
The
applied.
method allows us to find the law, right?
Yeah.
And then you apply the law, the method to find the law, which is what's amazing. The method is an incredibly complex way to discover something that seems quite simple.
Well, that's a good point to make, is that what's creepy is how close the founders were. What's also creepy is our federal code, at least at that level, it's not too bad. The holes are the problem, right? Because it's the stuff we fight about. But if you look you look at ordinary contract and tort law, there's some issues with it, which I've outlined before, which is the irresponsibility of the court. But there's just the failure to account for externalities within a context. I mean, that's a problem, right? But I mean, our law is pretty good. It's really post 63. It's the left's attack on the law. that takes advantage of the fact that, no, we have a high trust polity and we just never, that kind of treason just doesn't occur to members of a high trust polity. Right, so.
It's astounding in its boldness, right? Because it's just, but see, Noah Webster called it right. He was like, they're going to change the definition of words. So he wrote a dictionary because damn.
Well, that's the value of operational prose, right? Is they can't change it's not possible. And it, fundamentally, it's a crime to try because it's an attempt at lying. So we've basically outlawed attempts to change the meaning of words, which is what they do, right? They just come up with new ways of.
No, it's fascinating watching Lindsay, right? Watching Lindsay and James Lindsay and the left keeps rebranding these things like critical race theory. It turns into something else, and it turns into something else, and it turns into something else just fast. It's amazing, and it's like they're making fun of it in the memosphere, which is like they talk about the new thing or the current thing, right? It's like the current thing, and it's like they're very responsive. It's like a school of fish. They'll like change direction all at the same time. Fascinating. Doesn't require any thought at all, right? It's just reflex. Change.
Well, and it's so here's a great example. What's the difference between how male roosters fight and male chickens? Female chickens, excuse me. God damn it.
So the rooster's doing that. He's trying to poke a hole in the other guy.
He's trying to kill him. But they reconcile. What happens with hens? They never stop.
Hen pecking.
That's what women do. They never stop. They don't. They have no means of reconciliation, so they never stop. That's why women never forget. And so the problem is that the enemy doesn't stop. So the problem with that is it's very hard to fix the enemy unless they're so terrified of trying that it's not safe for them.
Right. I was thinking about this morning. It's like, this is because I decided to sleep in today. I did not work online at all. I said, I'm going to give myself a day off. I work every other day of the week. Every day this month, besides today, I work every day. And
Wow.
Well, it's just a couple hours, and it's like, okay, just a couple hours. And I help some people out. My goal is to help 17 people a day on the online service.
Is it a 90-10 problem? Like 90% of the things are really obvious.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and I like, because I've done it for 6 years. I don't even know how many years, 6 years or something. And it's like this. It's quite interesting to watch because it's like what's the name of that show? I don't remember the name of it anymore. Oh, it's Groundhog Day. Okay. It's like that. It's like this different people. Look, it's like I have a sinusitis and a whole bunch of different people playing the same part with different variations on how you play the sinusitis or what, you know what I mean? And then it's just, okay, I'm just calculating, oh, this fits their category. Boop, boop, boop. And then there's just that's just out of.
How often do you have to order tests or that kind of thing?
No, I don't order tests. If it gets more complex, you need to see someone.
I see. Oh, so you capture the lightweight visit
Yeah.
Market, which is really interesting.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Is this serious market?
It's like,
right.
It's like triage, right? It's like, take care of the light stuff, filter out the crazy stuff that you need to go to the ER right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you have someone to drive you? Because damn.
How often does that happen?
Very, very rare. But it's like, yeah, we're not doing that here. No, that is crazy talk to even be calling someone up about this. What are you doing? Right? And it doesn't happen frequently, but it happens very infrequently. So it is interesting that the persistent nature, it is like water. The persistent nature of the desire to short circuit and take without giving, right? Acquire without working. That's all it is.
Yep.
And it's just human nature, and it's like water, and it wants to.
It's not just human nature, it's all of nature.
Yes.
We're just an expression of the rest of the laws of the universe. And the great thing about intelligence is we can outwit random choice, right? We can develop a pattern that allows, and we can identify patterns and that's why we're able to have very costly organism, right? Is because we're simply better at identifying. Well, of course, we're going to try it on each other to the point at which we don't fucking put up with it anymore. So, I guess most of us would just be happy to live off our parents till they dropped, right?
No, I suppose. I was like this. I was getting on this when I was waking up, and I'm waking up, and I there's a doing the CrossFit and it's like this. It's like you need to be dangerous, okay? And I don't have a duty to perform to make you less anxious about being around me as a dangerous person, right? It's like that's your problem, is your anxiety, right?
Yes.
And it's up to you to figure out how to deal with it, and I'm okay with that. And I have to be okay with that. And I don't want to spend any wits thinking about making you less anxious. I don't care. I don't want to spend any energy on worrying about.
Okay, so can I run with this?
Yes, of course.
I want to explore this. So if I were a Stoic, it would never occur to me to care about what the other person thought. Right? So is the fact that we have this involuntary export of people trying to make you care about what they think that causes your stoicism? In other words, or is in other words, why would it even register? That's what I'm trying to get to. In other words, to me, because
it's the children are whining too goddamn much.
Yeah. So you've developed an adulthood response, and stoicism is a training, a discipline to prevent the need for that.
Well, it's like this. It's like I have this thing. It's like my peculiar job is they're supposed to bring their complaint to me, and I'm supposed to address it rationally in a logical fashion. And they don't have to be rational, right? And it's like, okay, so the issue is, how do I cause them to take responsibility for their condition? Because I can't be responsible for your condition. I am not responsible for your condition, right? My task is to cause you to take responsibility to the greatest extent possible, right? And then we have done the best we can do. That's all. And it's like, there are people, and so like this is, I see this in the medical industry, which is what the physicians, before they had medications for diabetes, they fixed your diet. They train you to fix your diet, okay? And since then, in the training in medical school now, they just tell you what medicines to use. They don't even try. It's total irresponsibility is expected of the patient, which is like, that's not the right answer, right? Because it just doesn't work. You enter into some feedback loops that cause you to take more medicines because it doesn't work. It's madness. But I was able to come to that conclusion because I studied this work with you, sir, because I understand what's going on. It's just a lot more efficient for the doctor to dispense medicines and not try to make the person think and work. So
because what's been sold to them? What were they sold? False promise of freedom from the laws of nature. You don't have to. I mean, what the left did, the enemy did, is they said none of this discipline stuff is real.
Discipline is unnecessary work.
Right. And you're being oppressed. Yes. You weren't being oppressed, you were being trained. trained to live in a high trust society where everyone is responsible. But what you want to do, they sold attention and power in exchange for irresponsibility. And now the chicken's coming home to roost, just whatever that is. What comes home to roost? Is it chickens? Yeah.
Chickens come home to roost. Right? You're doing good work, sir. I want to thank you for today. I had 3 excellent cups of coffee.
It was a fun day. We got a lot done. Obviously, I'm losing my voice now, but we've been at it for a while and I didn't fall apart, which I usually do.
Oh,
so
you did great.
getting
I
better.
want to say this one more time. Hit like and subscribe below. Leave some nice comments and some thoughtful thoughts and some questionable questions.
Well, that one's dangerous. All right. Love you, brother. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.